If you are going on Erasmus to Lisbon, I just first of all have to congratulate you because you are gonna have a blast, and this video is definitely for you. Because in today's video, I'm gonna talk about Erasmus life in Lisbon, what I wish I knew. Because about me, my name is Christina, I'm 22 years old from Norway, and I study in Volda College University. What is it called in English? I'm not sure. But I just spent my spring semester on Erasmus in Lisbon, so this is a video about that. What I wish I knew, some like tips, what to expect maybe. So let's just get into it. So first of all, Lisbon is like such a great Erasmus city. I haven't been on Erasmus anywhere else, but I feel like Lisbon is such a great place to be because it's first of all already a big international like community in the city, but also it's like such a big Erasmus network. There are so many Erasmus students in the city. I'm like, how do they even have like room for all these people? And there are like two main Erasmus organizations. I don't know of anything else at least, and that is ESN, Erasmus Student Network, that's like worldwide, which is a non-profit and only has volunteers and stuff. And then there's Erasmus Life Lisbon, or ELL. And both of these organizations have like events every single day, maybe multiple a day even. A lot of events are free, some of them cost a little bit. But what this means is that if you just try a little bit, if you just put yourself out there a little bit, it's like impossible not to make friends or meet people because you have chances like every single day. So that is great. And they also know Lisbon and Portugal better than you probably do, so they have like trips or just pub crawls, and like it's, yeah, I did a lot of events with both of them and it was very, very fun. I love it, and I'm really grateful that they had all the events that they had. I would especially recommend the walking tours. They are free, and that is like, that's probably where I made my greatest friends honestly for the rest of the semester, because it's like so chill, so you can just like walk around with people and talk while discovering the city. And often after, like, people went out to eat or something together. So yeah, walking tours and pub crawls, really, really fun. I went on a lot of day trips with them, which also was really nice because then you'll meet people, discover a new place, and you don't even have to think about like how to get there and stuff. They just have the bus ready for you and stuff. So yeah, would really recommend to just check those websites out like every week to see what they have in plan. But yeah, you do need a what is it called, membership for that. I think it costs like 20 euros for each, so you can do one of them or both of them. I had both. With ESN you get a lot of other discounts actually for gyms, and like Ryanair I got discount on flights and luggage and other stuff. So would recommend to check those out, what your friends on your school or something might be having. But that's no stress, you can do that while you're there. I'm just telling you about it. So even though there is a big international community and people like, oh my gosh, Erasmus Corner, I could talk about that forever, but people are very open because there's obviously a lot of nationalities. But it did seem to me that there were a lot of like nationality communities too, if I can call it that. Like the Norwegian community in Lisbon was so big, and they like, but my point here is that don't settle for your nationality. That's at least not why I thought it would be fun to do an Erasmus. Like I can meet Norwegians at home, while being an Erasmus student is such a great way to meet other people and nationalities, you know. That's just my tip. You're allowed to have friends from your home country, but please don't settle. Like the Norwegians I met, I didn't really go to any Norwegian events except for a national day, and when I talked to people there, they were like, people came together in big Norwegian groups, lived together, and didn't talk with other people at school even. Like, then I don't really see the point. Like, I know Lisbon is probably way more fun to live in than some cities in Norway, but yeah, just like keep that in mind. But again, it's your choice. And then another thing about Lisbon, which is so great, is their public transportation system. You can live like anywhere and still get around because there's like metros, buses, trains. You will figure out the metro system, so I'm not gonna spend time like explaining that, but it seemed like people like the green line the most. So like if you see the stops on the green line, you can see if you can find accommodation near those. Or I would say like the blue line is fine too. But yeah, you're very able to get around, and also Bolt is so much cheaper there than in Norway at least. But yeah, I mean the public transportation takes you where you need to all the time. They go all the time, not the metros though. Oh, should I talk about the nightlife? Well, coming from Norway, the Portuguese what is it called, schedule including the nightlife was like everything pushed a few hours like back. It seemed like the normal working time was 10 to 6 instead of like 8 to 4 in Norway. And then the metros, they close at 1 and open at 6 a.m. So it was normal to like pre-game until 1, take the last metro to the city, and then party until the first metro in the morning went again. I never made it that far, but like staying up till 5 a.m. is not for me. In Norway, we go home at 1. Yes, and also the public transportation again. This year, of some political reasons, I think, the public transportation was free for everyone under 23 years old. So I only had to pay, well, it was a hassle getting it. That was actually traumatizing. I just forgot how bad that process was. But it was worth it when I got free transportation the whole semester, and that meant like all into Cascais, like not just in Lisbon, like a huge area. You could take the trains and stuff. So that was very convenient, very thankful. But if you're over 23 or that thing has gone out of some reason, I think a monthly membership costs like 30 or 40 euros. But yeah, then I want to talk a little bit accommodation, because I know that is probably the most overwhelming part. I know for me it was, and now that I've been there, gone through it, I feel like I can help you. I did some research on this, but couldn't really find anything on YouTube, so I'm gonna try to talk to you about some things to keep in mind and websites and stuff you can check out. So it's a huge city with many areas, but because I said the public transportation is so good, it doesn't really matter where you live. You can get to your school in the city center anywhere from anywhere, so don't stress too much about area. It's always convenient to live close to the schools. You don't have to spend that much time traveling there, but also living in the city center is obviously fun. I know a lot of people lived in Bairro Alto, but keep in mind there is the other side of the river, Almada. Yeah, oh my gosh, so many places starting with A. So unless you go to the school over there or love to surf and you're gonna surf every day, I would recommend to stay on the main side. What is it called? But just to talk a little bit about areas. As I said, the Green Line was pretty popular. I lived in Alvalade, and that was honestly not too close to my school. I could walk there for like 30-40 minutes, and then the city center for an hour, but the public transportation took me anywhere. But I freaking loved Alvalade. People are making fun of me how I pronounce it, but I don't know how to pronounce it in Norwegian, English, or Portuguese, so I'm just doing my thing, because it was very local. Everything I needed I had within like a 3 minutes radius. It was crazy. I always felt really safe. Portugal is a very safe country with very low criminal rates, I think. But I did actually get a mail from my international responsible at my Portuguese school, so shout out to Catholica, a human faculty international person. And in that mail, I'm gonna give you accommodation tips soon, but he told us we should stay out from living in Martimonite and Intendente, and like you would be fine there, but comparing to a lot of other areas in Lisbon, I would agree. And now I'm just gonna give you a handful of links. I can give them down below, some websites that have rooms for short-term rental in Lisbon. I personally didn't use any of these because I ended up posting in a Norwegians in Portugal's Facebook group for some help, and then I got someone contacting me giving the info to my apartment, which was like, apparently they have posted on Facebook too. I didn't find them there. Had a legit contract and was like a professional like Erasmus Organization something, so very happy about that. So I'm just gonna say that before I give you all the links, but I have checked a lot of these out because I got a lot of these from my international person at Catholica, my school. So we have uni places. That is probably the one I checked out the most. Very easy to go around. You do pay for uni places, and a lot of these websites you do pay like a booking fee, but that fee is used as like a scamming guarantee. Like if you get scammed, you will get all your money back and help from the website. While Facebook and like other what is called freelance like rental things, you might have to pay the deposit beforehand, and then you might get there. I heard stories about this, and then there were no apartments and the renter ghosted you. So that like, yeah, it's a fee. It would be nice not having to pay, but at least you can relax. You will not get scammed, and if you do, in very few cases, because I do check out the apartments and stuff, you will get help and money back from the website. So Uniplaces, Bought a Home, and Idealista, a lot of people use. I also checked a lot in Erasmus Life housing. That is owned by ELL, the Erasmus Organization. And then there's also Livin, Studentville, and uhub. And then I've written, don't ask me more about this. But really, as I said, I haven't used these websites myself. I simply cannot help every one of you. I already get a lot of messages because of my TikTok. And as I said, I posted on my Facebook group. I asked my counselor at home if I could talk to previous Lisbon students, if I could ask them, but then I couldn't because of confidentiality or something. Some people actually plan to live in an Airbnb or a hostel and rather look for an apartment there so they could go on showings and stuff on Facebook, so you know you won't get scammed. It's much easier to scam people when you're not in that country, you know. So yeah, and the renting prices, I would say, goes from like 400 to 600 depending on area, how big it is and stuff. I paid 550 euros, which was honestly a little bit more than a lot of people I talked to, but that I don't really understand, because when I was looking at these websites, I was like, I got a really good deal here. From what I had, at least, I had like a big common area. We have 3 bathrooms on 5 rooms, and I had a really nice room, power included and everything. And speaking of rooms, I would really recommend to share with other Erasmus people. If you book through some of these, like Uniplaces is for everyone, so then you might end up like sharing with someone who works rather than is an Erasmus student and can't necessarily choose. But if you can, if you're able to, like really recommend to share with other Erasmus students. I've actually made another video about Erasmus life in general if you want to check that out, but then I talk a little bit bit about that. But yeah, it comes a lot of like free stuff, or like friends come with just living with other Erasmus students. So I would really recommend that. And then when you do take initiative, not every like Erasmus flat necessarily go that well together, but then you just have to be the one that like tries to put it together, you know. I was very lucky because 2 other people had lived there for a whole year, or like the semester before, so they knew each other and they knew like what they wanted out of the flat community. So I was very, very lucky with my flat situation. And also, if you're able to live with or invest in a living space, I also talked about that in this video, but being able to invite people to your place is a blessing, because a lot of apartments only have like the rooms and then a small tiny kitchen where you can't invite people. And I had it like that my first year as a student in Norway. I just felt like I couldn't invite anyone, and that really sucked. And we really use our common space to like host things and invite people, so really would recommend that. I don't really know if there's anything else to like say specifically about Lisbon as an Erasmus city. You're gonna love it if you like a city. It's a big city with so much to do, so many Erasmus students. Portuguese culture is so fun. There's like a free day every 2 weeks, it feels like. So many parades, and they take place at night. It was the funniest thing to me. I've never seen a parade in the dark. Kids and grandpas was out until 1. Very interesting to see as a Norwegian. But yeah, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comments. And now I'm going to talk about my school in specific, which is the Catholic University of Portugal, or Catholica Universidade Portuguesa or something. I couldn't choose the school I was going to. That if I wanted to go to Lisbon, I had to go to that school. So I did, and I had a fine experience. Like, but I also have to mention I went to the human faculty, because your experience would also differ from your faculty. I was roommates with one who also went to Catholica, but a different faculty, and he had a very different experience than me. So I got a very good impression. Like, beforehand, got the mail with like all the links I could apply to, the areas to avoid, and like a lot of info. So very nice beforehand. And then the first day was even better. I was like, oh, this is gonna be so great. And we got like Portuguese buddies and a lot of info. Like, very nice first day. And then they also have some social things the first month, I would say, but else than that, there was not really any social things with the school. And else than that, I was not really like overwhelmingly satisfied with my classes. I do think that this is just me. Again, I just really have to emphasize this was my experience. Yours can be very different. And I study PR, communications and media, but the classes I could choose at Catholica at the human faculty was not really media based. There were few classes that I was like excited about beforehand, because there were few of them, and then the few that like fit with the schedule didn't really have a lot to do with my study, I felt like. So I did think the classes were a bit boring. Just like the setup, it kind of reminded me of high school, because first of all, you had to be there. Maybe that's an Erasmus thing, because maybe they know if they tell you don't have to be there, no one will come, but you had to be there. The teacher will talk all class long. It's a presentation. Luckily, we didn't really have to buy books or like read stuff, or maybe we did, I just didn't catch that. But all my classes were in English. I know some people took them in Portuguese at other schools. I'm like, how can you do that? But yeah, so there were pretty much like exclusively Erasmus students in my classes, which is a very nice way to meet people. Then you see the same people every day, and oh my gosh, so many group projects, but like a nice way to get to know someone. And in Lisbon, Catholica is known for being pretty hard rather than other schools. I did not really feel that, at least in the human faculty classes I was in, but like other Erasmus people even knew that, like, oh, is Catholica, you go to Catholica, is that hard? And I think for the locals, it's a pretty prestigious to go to Catholica, was my impression. I'm not local, so I wouldn't know for sure, but that was my impression. But I did spend way more time on school, on my Erasmus, rather than I do home, but that might be just a little bit my experience, because my study in Norway is not really like theoretical hard, and I maximum have like 2 lectures every day, while in Catholica I have 2 days from 10 to 5. That was very exhausting for me, and again made it feel a little bit like high school, like you had to spend the whole day there, and then 2 days with only 1 lecture, and then I had my Fridays off. Really recommend to have a long weekend for traveling and stuff too. But yeah, like little work home, to be fair. Like there were some group projects that you spend a little time, but not like a lot of readings. But the exams were so informal, so easy to cheat. A lot of people did that. The teacher even caught one cheating with her notes up, and then he just walked back because he was too afraid to take that confrontation. Like very silly, the whole thing, honestly. And not long exams, just like an hour and a half, everyone. Looking back, I don't feel like the school made my Erasmus experience good at all. Like, but what I really loved about being in Lisbon was just the city Lisbon. That made really up for the school. I really wish I had like more fun classes that I was really passionate about, but like I just wasn't. And if I was, I feel like the lectures were kind of killing it. I can say what I had though if you're going to the human faculty too. I had Portuguese contemporary history. Really nice teacher, to be honest, but a very hard class, and I had no pre-knowledge whatsoever. So yeah, that is the one class I actually spent a lot of time reading and studying for. Then I had creative and cultural industries. Very like silly classes, but then kind of a lot of work, or she expected a lot from us outside and like big group projects. So yeah, was not really happy with that class. Investigative journalism was pretty okay. Representation theories, I had no idea what was going on, but the exams were really easy and it was just more like symbolism and stuff. So if you like to interpret things, that might be for you. And then probably my favorite class of all of them was integrated marketing and communications, because that had more to do with my degree than any of the others, I felt like. So, and very nice teachers. Like all the teachers were nice, but not necessarily always like able to engage the class to be very excited about it, I guess. But that's going to be it, I think. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. As I said in my other video, it's a lot easier for everyone if we can just like have all the questions in the comments rather than I getting the same questions privately, unless it's like really personal or whatever. You're free to contact me, but I will, no matter how old this video is, I will try to respond to comments down here. And thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. Good luck with your Erasmus experience in Lisbon. It's gonna be great. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.